Oh, tomatoes! In the simple act of sinking our teeth into a ripe, succulent tomato, we rarely pause to contemplate its rich and storied history. Yet, within the annals of botanical lore, the tomato's journey is replete with both captivating truths and speculative tales. Originating in the verdant landscapes of western South America, wild strains of tomatoes still flourish, their diminutive fruits akin to cherries in size, but adorned with a golden hue instead of the familiar crimson. What sets tomatoes apart is their remarkable propensity for generating a plethora of viable mutations. Millennia ago, Native Americans stumbled upon a fortuitous mutation yielding larger fruits, a discovery they wisely integrated into their agricultural practices. Today, this inherent variability aids breeders in crafting an array of tomato varieties, boasting diverse colors, sizes, and flavors, while fortifying the plants against the onslaught of diseases. However, it was not in the verdant valleys of South America, but in the bustling markets of Mexico that Europeans first encountered tomatoes. Fascinated by the kaleidoscope of varieties on offer, the conquistadors, led by Hernan Cortés, marveled at the diversity of zitomatal, or swollen navel, as the Aztecs called them, owing to their distinctive shape. Meanwhile, the Incas continued their cultivation of small, fruited tomatoes, a testament to the indigenous people's mastery of agriculture. The Aztecs used tomatoes and chili peppers as vital seasonings for their staple foods. As per the Florentine Codex of the 16th century, Hernan Cortés defended his conquest of Mexico by delivering the subsequent words, "So in return for our having come as brothers to tell them what our Lord God and the King have ordained, they wished to kill us and eat our flesh, and had already prepared the pots with salt and peppers and tomatoes."
What is this you have brought?
Tomato. The Aztecs grow them among the maize.
Juicy. And has a right agreeable taste.
After the Spanish conquest of Mexico, tomatoes made their way to Europe in what is known as the Columbian Interchange. It marks a turning point as we delve into the realm of speculation. Numerous books recount the tale of Europeans abstaining from consuming tomatoes for a considerable duration due to their alleged toxicity. In fact, it required 2 decades subsequent to the conquest of Mexico before tomatoes were documented in Europe. In 1544, Pietro Andrea Mattioli, an Italian physician, published a remarkable catalog of 100 previously unknown plant species, one of which was the tomato. Initially, he recognized it as a variety of the eggplant intended for consumption after cooking. John Gerard, an English physician, penned his own description of the tomato in 1597. It is commonly believed that he attributed toxicity to tomatoes, but this assertion is absolutely unfounded. In reality, Gerard merely noted the poisonous nature of tomato stems and leaves, expressing disdain for their scent. However, he made no mention of the fruit toxicity. By that time, tomatoes had made their way onto the dining tables of Cosimo de' Medici, being grown in gardens across diverse European countries such as Italy, France, and Germany. Then why do the authors of later books claim that Europeans considered tomatoes to be toxic? The tomato played a very limited role in old European culinary traditions. This fact becomes evident when exploring the writings of famous chefs of the 16th and 17th centuries. For instance, in his renowned cookbook, The Opera of the Culinary Art, 1570, Bartolomeo Scappi included just a solitary recipe featuring fried tomatoes. Similarly, in Antonio Latini's influential work, The Modern Steward from 1692, tomatoes were solely mentioned for their use in sauce. Interestingly, in China, the arrival of tomatoes from the Spanish colonies occurred not long after they reached Europe and did not hold much allure for the Chinese at that time. It wasn't until the 18th century, when the Chinese began to truly appreciate fried tomatoes. It appears that both Europeans and Chinese did not have a fondness for ripe raw tomatoes. The lack of interest in tomatoes can be attributed to a prevailing skepticism regarding the consumption of raw vegetables and all vegetables belonging to the Solanaceae family. This skepticism is not limited to tomatoes alone, but extends to other members such as eggplants. Leonhard Fuchs, a German botanist who lived during the same period as Mattioli, noted that the eggplant should cause fright to those who care for their health. There is another reason which can be more speculative. It is possible that the uneven ripening process, where one section of the fruit becomes ripe and sweet while the other remains hard and sour, discouraged individuals from consuming raw tomatoes. The uneven ripening of tomatoes can be attributed to both genetic characteristics and physiological disorders. The occurrence of evenly ripening varieties only became prominent during the late 1920s, when commercial breeders fortuitously encountered a naturally occurring mutation that resulted in an even ripening process. Gardeners were inclined to find tomatoes more visually appealing rather than palatable for consumption. However, it is important to note that this does not imply they were deemed toxic. During the latter half of the 18th century, European society experienced a shift towards less conservatism, gradually accepting and embracing vegetables like tomatoes, potatoes, and artichoke. Tomatoes, in particular, were predominantly consumed in a boiled state, often incorporated into soups, broths, and various sauces. As time progressed, the popularity of tomatoes soared, and by the mid-19th century, they had become a usual food in Mediterranean regions and along the Atlantic coast. The rest of the world, owing to the influence of Americans, developed an affinity for tomatoes at a later stage. American settlers had been cultivating tomatoes since the 18th century. Throughout the 19th century, a number of tomato consumers in the United States experienced consistent growth. By the 1870s, local breeders introduced new tomato varieties that were ideal for commercial cultivation. In the early 1900s, their contributions received significant recognition as nutrition experts discovered the numerous health benefits of ripe tomatoes and thus greatly increased the appeal of tomatoes among consumers. Additionally, manufacturers developed methods to preserve tomatoes and produce tomato paste, packaging them in cans. The food shortages experienced during the two world wars in the Old World acted as a catalyst for the importation of American foodstuff. With these imports came novel flavors, culinary preferences, and innovative food production methods. As a result, the tomato emerged as the most favored vegetable across the globe. The tomato's popularity comes with an inherent downside. Contemporary geneticists have discovered that in their pursuit of larger and more visually appealing fruits, the breeders of the past inadvertently compromised the tomato's flavor by diminishing its sweetness. This is why many amateur gardeners favor older varieties. Reflecting on the tomato's journey, one marvels at its transformation from a maligned curiosity to an indispensable component of global cuisine. In an age where tomatoes abound in every kitchen, it's difficult to fathom a culinary landscape devoid of their vibrant presence. If you enjoy our short informative video, put your like and subscribe. Do not miss our upcoming videos. We may be a bit awkward, but we always manage to have a good time and find joy in the little things.